What's going on, YouTube? Good morning, everybody. This is your girl, Netta's Destiny. Like I said, I'm new to this YouTube thing, and I know it's all like not all that cute or whatever. Like, you know, having an old introduction and all that stuff. You know, just the beginning of a new start of me sending out good messages and messages, period, from the one upstairs. You know, our Father, our Heavenly Father, Jesus Christ, and you know, this message is messages that I'm doing are basically things that come to me in my heart, you know, from my heart to out my mouth, you know what I mean, that has to do with this new world that we're living in, which is basically the old world is just setting new trends and new fashion and new senses of direction right now, you know, that has nothing to do just with the people on earth. Is actually is God's plan, you know, for all these events to take place. I just got done listening to a man named Marcus Rogers, I think it is, and he is a very good prophet. You know, God's chosen him to spread a word and a message that touches a lot of people's souls around the world. You know, he has traveled around the world. He's happily married, and he has a great spirit. And I was trying to contact him on the strength of trying to get some collaboration on answers, and you know, just to see if my messages somewhat match up to what his messages are, because really, I mean, they sounded a little similar, like things that I would read, he was talking about even before I knew about him. And when I was reading it, it came from either the Bible or stuff I would just say out of my mouth, either as a phrase or just walking down the street talking to God, or maybe praying. It would be something I say that he actually has said in his videos, preaching or teaching, and I just was amazed by that. So this morning I had definitely listened to his messages about witches, the witches around us, who we need to cut short, who's not good for us in our lives, about idolization, about people idolizing money and never being fed properly and still having a hole in them, trying to fulfill a void they can't fill without the love of Jesus Christ. I mean, these messages are coming correct and clear, and I'm just loving it, every single minute of it, you know, how we fall short, and, you know, we have to, or the other message that I got from him was basically how the churches try to tiptoe around, some churches try to tiptoe around the fact that we need to be really more involved in politics, because of the simple fact that, we skip around the real issues that's going on in this world just so we can look good, just so preachers can look good or whatever. But the people of the church never leave with a stuck in their head of what exactly could change them, or, you know, having the will to change, because they walk out the same way they come in. That's not a good thing, you know what I'm saying? So I was picking up on those messages from him, which was very, very encouraging, that I'm going to keep pushing this YouTube thing no matter how small I start. And hopefully one day I will get more people seeing and watching my videos. They might be confusing at first, because I do tend naturally to jump from subject to subject, but I do mean well about things that I say, you know what I mean, because they're not just coming from me. Now, first, I want to start off by giving a shout out to my moms and my brothers and my kids and my man, Marquise. I be praying for all of them, his family, mine, the ones that are sick out there, the kids at St. Jude Hospital especially. I've been praying for them for a long time too. I mean, a lot of things I do out the kindness of my heart. I tend to put myself on the back burner for everyone else to, you know, be first, so I could be able to serve them in God's honor, you know, just from the kindness of my heart, you know, not wanting anything, not trying to expect anything, just doing it because that's how I am. And that's what type of spirit I wish a lot of people did not hide and and say that's who they are. Or I wish some people that try to be prideful and act like they're not like this can actually take that veil off and start opening up more to show that they might just be this way, But that's up to them, everybody has a free will. But, I hope everybody enjoyed their New Year's. And this year is supposed to be a year of change once again. Every New Year's is supposed to be a year of some type of dramatic change, and either it has to do with a relationship or friendship or family or job related, or anything that have to do with a choice that you got to make to move or whatever. Something transitioning is supposed to be going on in everybody's life. And the reason why I say that is because not just the transformation or the transition from the outside, is also going to be a transition from the inside. And we don't realize that sometimes because we fall weak to the mysteries of this world, which we already see what's going on. It's evident that everybody's starting to do things that was prophesied already from the Bible. And, no matter how much y'all try to ignore it, no matter how much y'all try to ignore it or whatever, some people try to ignore it, it is just too real. And I'm not surprised. At first I was like, yeah, because I was amazed, because I know I've read this in the Bible. I know I've heard it from certain people's mouths that believe in the Bible and believe in God, and that also are gifted in certain ways. I've believed in them. People in my family who are very Christian oriented. Some of them just fake the funk. Some of them backsliders, just like I've been a backslider too myself, and I'm trying to start my life back on focusing on God and taking steps to sacrifice certain things I need to in order to get in touch back with God and get closer to Him and change things about myself. It's going to be hard. Yes, it's going to hurt, but it is worth the change. It is worth the try, because He tried and He did it for us. So why not do it for Him? You know what I'm saying? So anyway, I say that to say this, I was amazed, but I'm not surprised. I've had dreams that things like this was going to take place. God has showed me, how the world was going to end up. And through vision, and even through just looking at the world, walking down the street, observing people, you can see their actions. Everybody's rushing to get where? You know what I'm saying? There is no possible rush in the world unless it's an emergency and you really need to help somebody get to the hospital or something, or something like that, of that sort, or you got to go pick up your kids from school. Everybody deserves to be a little bit aware, more aware than usual, period. Because nowadays you got people hitting people, running over people, killing people just because, committing adultery, cannibalism. It's cannibalism. Is so much of the sins and the seals being broken right now. It's ridiculous. You know what I'm saying? And it's kind of draining. Like, I feel my body feels drained. Like, I'm most likely out of energy. And I had to put some type of nutrition in my body, plus get the spiritual food this morning, just to try to make this video for y'all, just to get y'all to understand that there's a lot about to come this way, man. It's some things that we are not going to be able to control, and we got to be prepared, man. So other than that, I say, you guys just keep your head up, open your eyes. Young people, the young people, this generation, have slacked so much within what they are supposed to truly believe in and what they're supposed to really be doing. So in the Bible, it talks about the young women and men will be prophesying in the end of days. These young men and women are being fed materialistic things within the media and social media. They're more connected to their phones. We are, and they are. We're supposed to be teaching them. You know what I'm saying? They're so connected into the phones and the TV now, it's ridiculous. They have no time for God. And not even a little prayer, you know what I'm saying, that actually could, God could actually hear to say, hey, at least she thinks or he thinks about me. But he deserves a lot more time than that. Come on, y'all. If we didn't have phones in the world, what else would you be doing right now? Ask yourself that, answer your own question. Or answer the question I've given y'all, because really I say that it'd be a lot of changes if there was no phones and mechanical equipment anywhere or technology period in the world. We wouldn't have advanced as far as we are now, but as we would have advanced in some type of way. Without even this technology, it would have been some way we would have survived. I think it would have been more peaceful within the element of not having, guns and stuff like that, because the more they advance the gun, the more people are getting killed. You know what I'm saying? I mean, the enemy is lurking to kill, steal, and destroy, and he is definitely getting rid of our children and our elderly people. And pretty soon we are the next generation. So we need to be able to understand, they and the ones that come after us are for sure, generation. These two generations here, well, after us, this generation here has plummeted down so far down the drain, disrespectful to their parents, the elders. They live in this fantasy world of money, clothes, hoes, cars, whatever, and they really don't realize that is not the most important thing. That's so petty and selfish in so many ways. That's just how the enemy would think. That stuff is going to help you, but it's still not going to fill any void in your life, period. You're still going to be sad, unhappy, and you're not going to feel good about yourself just because you got money. All the attention pretty soon is going to get boring. It's going to get annoying. You know what I mean? People don't really think about that. They ain't going to have nowhere to hide. Paparazzi going to be everywhere on their butt. Like, people don't think about that when they want to become rich, famous, whatever. Most people take the easy way out and try to sell their souls for money. Knowing that the consequence, not knowing the consequence is about 10 or 20 years he's only giving you, and then you actually expire to the point where he just automatically takes your soul after you pass away. That is not nothing that I would be coming to heed for. Like, I would not even get into that, because there's no way I would want to sell my soul to a serpent that doesn't even deserve to set foot in heaven because of his disrespectful disobedience to the Father himself. I don't think so. I wouldn't live under a person or a spirit that has a bunch of hatred and tortures you every day with the things that you used to love on earth. No, not me. I'm just praying that, I could be saved and God saves my soul, and that I could live in the grace of God, because right now, how this world looks, that's the only way out. Is one way. There is no universal way. So the devil is a liar. Don't ever believe that crap. Don't let nobody tell you that. Yeah. So, I was told, like, last year in my dream by the Father that I needed to start using my voice, that I wasn't using my voice. It was a crazy dream, man. I could say it to you guys, man. It was crazy. It was like I was asleep, and I woke in this place, like it looked like a church house or whatever, and it had like Roman pews, like Roman, those little sticks that hold the temple up. It looked like they had red carpet. And then this man, these two young men about in their 30s, was escorting this man down the carpet, and he was coming in between the pews, and he had a scroll in his hand, like a little scroll. And to me, I felt like it was a list or something. And the dude had a mustache. He had a pinstripe suit on with a tie on. And he had this evil look in his eyes. He had dark black hair. And he was just like grinning, like he was just so satisfied or whatever. And he was being escorted out. And during that point, I mean, there was this naked lady standing at the altar or whatever. And she had a cigarette in her mouth, and they were asking her, does her good outweigh her bad? And she told all the negative things she did, and when she tried to lie about half of it, they showed her the clips of what she did within her life, and they ended up throwing her in the lake of fire. Now, I visioned her going in the lake of fire, and what I seen was her skin burning off. It was other people in there in the lake of fire. Skeleton-wise, they had flesh all hanging off of their body. It was just terrible. I was looking at this like I was so scared. And when I was looking at the people sitting down in the pew section with all the pews, it was people we hadn't seen in years. It was even celebrities up there. You hadn't seen them. But they were basically in the judgment day area. They were being judged, for what they did on earth in their prior life. And I've seen people that we haven't seen in years up there, man. Like, they were smiling, some were talking, trying to figure out what was going on, or if they were going to get called soon or whatever. But in my dream, because it was my dream, I don't know if this was what it was supposed to be, but I was called, the young man called me up. He was like, I said, these guys look like they were in their 30s. They're of different races, you know what I'm saying? They weren't just one race, they were different races of people looking like they were in their 20s to 30s, you know what I'm saying? And he said, Sonetta, can you come up here? And I came. I was nervous. I was like, Lord, please. I was praying the whole way up. I was like, don't let me go to the lake of fire. Please don't. Lord, I beg of you. Like, no, please, I'm trying to change. And I closed my eyes. And when I opened my eyes again, I was sitting at this table. And there was a bunch of tables all the way down in a row. Like, long as you could see, it was tables. Like, dinner tables that were long or whatever, and there was these plates sitting on the tables, each one of the tables or whatever. This is true facts, you know what I'm saying? This was last year I had this dream. And there was no food on the tables, period, you know what I'm saying? It was like nice little flower arrangements and stuff on the tables, but it was no food on the plates at all, you know what I'm saying? It was just silverware and plates everywhere. So I believe it was an angel sat next to me. And he asked me to face him, and I looked at him. He said, does your good outweigh your bad? And this man had short hair. He had this blue eyes, but he had this blue light coming from his eyes, like a glow, you know what I'm saying? And I said, well, I've done a lot of things in my life, that I'm not proud of. And I told him all my sins. I told him how I was married and how I'd done this and I've done that or whatever. And he was like, well, I know this, just don't lie to me, because if you lie to me, there's consequences behind your lies, and it's actions to that. And I was like, no, this is the truth. This is where I am right now in my life. And he was like, okay. And then he said, close your eyes. So I closed my eyes again. And this present was like no other, because by this time I was facing the table. After I turned from him, I turned forward like I was sitting straight at the table. And this presence was, I didn't open my eyes yet, but until I started feeling the presence more. It was on the side of me, and it just felt so overpowering. Like, if I even glanced at this person, I would lose my sight. You know what I'm saying? That's how powerful this energy was next to me. And I slowly tried to open my eyes, and when I did, he was talking to me, and what I pictured in my head of how Jesus would look or whatever was something. As a child, I used to have his children's Bible, and what I pictured him was a white guy with, the long brown hair and stuff. So that was how he came to me, but I didn't directly look at him. I was kind of corner of my eye, just glanced over, and I seen long brown hair. He was wearing some type of a tan off-white garment on, and he was sitting there with his skin was like a bronze brown. It wasn't all like light white or whatever, or pale. It was like a bronze light brown, you know what I'm saying? And he had a beard, and then I felt like he was like in his middle age, like 30 something, you know what I'm saying, around his 30s maybe. And he was like, he was saying something to me about like, so does your good outweigh your bad? I could tell you, you don't have to tell me, I know already. I know what you've been through. I've seen everything you've gone through. I knew you before you were even born. And he just kept saying this stuff, and I just start, my eyes start tearing up and stuff. And I was trying to look at him, but I didn't. And then when I turned around, like kind of slightly turned around, you know what I'm saying? And he sat there and he gave me 3 kisses on my forehead. Okay, and he told me to grab his hand. He said, if you come here, I'm going to take you somewhere. We go down like we on a cloud or something, and we go down to like a next level. You know what I'm saying? Like we're down on a level. You know what I'm saying? Like we're on a bottom level, and in this bottom level, it was like this floor that had like looked like a tile floor. It had a church organ right there, and it had like this modern type radio system, but it had like the cassette player and stuff still, so it wasn't that modern. But he turned it on and he started repeating different notes, like song notes, you know, and he said repeat after him. He was doing his A and B C notes or whatever, and he told me to do it too, so I started doing it, and he started following me like he was mocking my voice. And then he was like, my daughter, come here. And when I did, he said, my daughter, he said, you are not, I see that you're not using your voice. He said, you have been silent, but you need to start using your voice. He said, you are not using your voice. I said, what? Like, I didn't know exactly what that meant. But then as soon as he told me close my eyes again, I had closed my eyes, and this person disappeared. This spirit disappeared, and I ended up like waking up kind of weird, like, oh, where'd it go? And then I actually just really woke up, you know what I'm saying? And that message to me was very important, because I didn't know exactly what it meant until I started getting it. And it really just felt like it meant that I wasn't putting a message that he wanted to use me for a certain cause of a message I was supposed to be giving to people. Like all through my life, even the women in my family have always been motivational speakers, you know what I'm saying? They've always been in different places like church or out there on the streets, and they've always been like activists, black activists, done something for the community, or let alone encourage people, motivational speakers for kids and stuff like that. And I mean, I think that's where my purpose is, where I'm supposed to be going in my life. So now that I know that that is what I am truly believing, and he is not going to stop until I get to my purpose. Everybody has a purpose for their life. And just because all the negative stuff is going on, just because they feel like they're comfortable where they're at, just because they feel like they can do whatever they want, God is still going to make sure that you get to your purpose regardless. So that's just something I know, I believe in, and I tell people now, this is my little saying, laugh now but cry later, because once it actually happens and you didn't believe me and you didn't believe anybody that was telling you, and you kept laughing at them like it was funny, but once it comes slap you in your face, you ain't gonna be ready for it. So I just want to say, y'all, just keep your eyes open up to what's going on in this world. Open up to what you're seeing nowadays, because really everything is going crazy. And in order to stay on your 10 toes, you really just got to pick up knowledge, not just from other people, but just from the resources like the word, and not just the word, you know what I'm saying? Just, you know, always be in prayer every day, no matter what, you know what I'm saying? It doesn't make you perfect, and no, I'm not a holy roller, but I do believe in God, and I do believe in praying every day. Because you never know, you know, what goes on with people or even yourself. You never know if you need that type of strength in your life, you know. And people will try to throw you down. People will try to drag you in the dirt, say you're wrong. Oh, you done this. You shouldn't be praying. You drink. Oh, you shouldn't be praying. You smoke. You shouldn't be praying. Nah, You can't tell nobody that. You don't know what they've been through, what shoes they walk in, you know. You don't know anything about them to be judging them. So really, that's something I need to work on too, is my attitude and how I treat people, because I want people to treat me respectfully, so I got to treat them the same way. I'm going to work on a whole bunch of stuff about myself, and it takes steps. You can't change overnight, but you at least try to take steps, you know. So that's my message to you guys today on this YouTube, and I thank you for watching. If you are going to watch, subscribe to my page, and that is Destiny, and definitely I got a lot more messages I want to put out there. Like I said, go check out that dude I was watching this morning. I think his name is Marcus Rogers. I think Marcus Rogers. And he's a very good prophet, man. He's actually opened my eyes up to stuff that I've already had been talking about already. That's what's crazy about it. But it's getting good, and the truth, why people still steady trying to hide the truth is really going to spill, overflow, and come out itself. Ain't nothing nobody can do about it. So, yeah, let's get it, man, and have a good New Year's, man, and stay blessed, never stressed, man, and keep your head up.